Hey everybody, I have Miranda here and I'm Sky and we are raw vegans and we are high raw and raw vegans. We are going to talk about consciousness and raw foods. So welcome Miranda.
Thank you for having me, Sky.
Thank you so much for joining. Now, you are the perfect person to talk on this about because I see you and you light up. Like as in like whenever I see your reels or a post, you're like walking fruit, which is
Oh
a
my
good
gosh.
thing.
I feel the same way about you, Sky. You're like walking sunshine.
Oh, thank you. So we
It
like represent the fruit, right?
yeah, it's like we're walking billboards for raw foods or high raw foods and just whole plant foods in general. Just being conscious about what we're eating.
That's right. Now, I'd like to start by talking about our experience with reality when we started on high raw and raw foods. Do you want to share your experience with the raw foods and what changed when you started eating them in your reality?
Oh yeah. I just feel like when I honestly started, I was in a place of just digestive issues and like brain issues, as in like just low focus, anxiety, and stuff. And I feel like when I started eating more fruits, more raw foods, I started becoming less stressed and things around me stopped bothering me as much. I felt more peaceful kind of within as well. And I just wanted to start eating better, not only for the physical aspects, right? But the aspects on how I see my life, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, the way that I felt and the way that I was seeing the world definitely changed. I felt like when I started eating more, I just started taking care of myself more mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
I like that. So when I healed myself of 32 years of chronic illness and I'd had over 60 surgeries, I'd come off the back of 9 psychiatric hospital visits, 5 were acute. I was most of the time dissociated, so massive mental health issues. And the raw foods took away my physical pain. But the greatest gift was the place mentally and spiritually I went and experienced. I truly feel going into this like realm of new consciousness is the true healer because you can take away inflammation, but those same like pathways and thoughts and that darkness stays with a lot of people. And I was free. I felt free. I
Yeah.
felt like um, I not only didn't feel pain, I could feel the breeze talking to me. I could see sunlight. I could literally feel it connecting to my skin now. Before it just burnt with all the medications and all the bad things I did. And like grass now didn't make me itchy. It was like this soft, another breath of fresh air. It was unbelievable. So my consciousness was not like, oh my God, pain's going to come. I've been in pain. And then just dissociation and just being in a totally different, darker reality is it was safe to be in reality now. And I can't stress how much being in that safe space let me start writing this new life.
Yeah. I felt like a page in my life have turned. Like I started feeling like new, like you said. I just felt more attuned to my surroundings. I felt like in a higher frequency, you know? I just felt like more connected to nature, more connected to what I'm eating. Just I felt like that connection and I've never
Mhm.
really felt before and honestly just kind of more peaceful when I eat and relationship with food and just kind of how I saw the world around me. I guess the way that we can see ourselves and our diet and our life can definitely connect us to higher realms, higher frequencies, and just being more attuned to the way that sun feels on your skin and the way that you can feel the energy in the grass, in the ground. It's just, I don't know. I feel like when you start eating more from the earth really feeds you, feeds your soul, feeds your
It
heart.
does. It does. And, I've heard of like high vibe and high vibrational, and I always thought that was happiness. And what I thought of happiness was really overstimulation a lot of the time. What can like lollies or something was like a buzz. And then all of a sudden, I'm experiencing that I'm a better person. I feel better. My thoughts are clearer. I feel love in a way where I'm like, oh, I love the grass. I love the sun, and I'm totally present. How would you describe vibration? Because I think it's hard to explain. It's one thing to explain to someone raw foods is going to heal your knee or your ear or your MS, but to say you'll feel high vibrational is like, I feel, is like the gift of a lifetime. How would you explain it to someone?
Yeah, that's a pretty big question, and I don't even know. I mean, the way that I would describe feeling like a high vibration is kind of feeling light, kind of feeling energized, not just physically energized like I could go run around, just kind of like I have focus, I have drive and passion, and kind of just being more open to receive what's around me rather than more closed off and kind of more of like more of giving, more like full of love, like you were saying how you can feel love for yourself, like feeling love for your surroundings. And I guess like electricity like is the way to kind of like plugging yourself in or like tuning into a frequency. You got to kind of be there in every aspect of your life because you can be like, oh, going to the gym and stuff, but if you're eating like not so well, you're not going to be on that high vibration, high frequency and giving it all of your energy because you could be really just feeling so drained. But when you're eating a lot of raw foods, you're not feeling so drained because your energy is physically and spiritually and cellularly fueling you. I don't know.
Yeah, you made me think then of being plugged in, as in
Mhm.
like before it's all like going to the gym, it's just motions. It's
Yeah.
just like surviving, and all of a sudden you feel plugged in. Or for me, it was like I felt like it was this gift for doing what I did for myself. So for choosing this path and enjoying this, not only do I heal, now I get this gift of life where everything started talking, and I get to be part of this and write my own life. And I think many people don't understand that there is, it's like a true consciousness, as in like coming home to our, like who we were really meant to be, sitting in like stress mode, just as you said, like just go to the gym, get up, go to work, but like dying to come home and watch television, not being like so present that you're like, I get to be in nature. I get to feel this. And I do believe it gets lost and
Mhm.
not talked about enough, because most people coming into the diet, or someone, influencers promoting the diet, are targeting people who are sick. Okay. And of course, we want them to feel better. But how do you explain to someone like, you've got to do this? You're going to feel connected, and source is going to talk to you through the plants, when all they want to do is heal something. So
Right.
it's like, how do you think we can like get the word out for people that this
Yeah.
is like a real, this is like, so the healing happens, I found, quite quickly. And even if it took 2 years to heal, you've then got like another 20, 40, 60 years, depending how old you are, of living. And you're living at this completely different frequency, a new reality, right?
Yeah, it's like you're kind of creating your own reality for you and kind of being the way that we were meant to be, not feeling stressed or feeling not so good after we eat. More so eating to be aligned, to be a higher vibe, a higher frequency, and we're not just eating the food, right? It's about being more mindful when we eat, being more mindful about everything. And I feel like I don't know, I talk a lot about living in abundance and not just living in abundance like eating all that you want. It's really your kind of like your lens of life. Like if you're wearing sunglasses and you see everything gray, you know. But no, when you're eating a lot of raw foods, you're starting to see everything like in a bright color, in bright vibrancy, feeling radiant and trying to express that to others. And sometimes, oh, like you should go on a vegan diet. You can reverse your diseases and stuff like that. But it's not just about that because, as we know, the mind is so powerful and we can think our way into more illness, even if we're eating, healthfully. We can
That's true.
if we're thinking about, oh, like, I'll just go on this diet and I'll be fine and then go back to the way I was. But a lot of people that do this raw foods diet, high raw foods, they don't just feel good physically, you feel good mentally, and like you're feeling more connected and intertwined to what you're eating and how you're living. And I guess the way that I would try to get more people to see that or to feel that is to honestly just share my experience. And we both do that. And you do that a lot. And that's great. And I think it's empowering and really special to see kind of your testimony of, what you've healed, not just physically, but spiritually and mentally, emotionally, and everything. Just everything is connected. Everything.
It is. I feel like when you live in truth, you have nothing to hide. So when I get in front of a camera every day, like you, is I am so acceptive of where I've come from and what I'm capable of now. I'm just sharing truth. Is
Mhm.
when I think where I used to be, is everything was kind of in the dark, as in, I'm probably ashamed of things, therefore, why would I promote them? But it's like finding yourself.
Yeah.
It's more than just wanting to heal this or thinking that you have to be perfect. It's a bit of a journey. And I was just talking to Kiko about how that journey isn't always perfect. As in there's still days where I don't feel perfectly amazing, but I feel supported. I can't tell you how much I never feel alone being on this diet. And that, like when you say connected to source or connected to God, is feeling not alone 100% of the time is what humans want. It's what our
Yeah.
brain wants, our body wants, our consciousness wants. And that's the only time I ever felt like that. And you stop then seeking out, like me, with addictions or pain relief or even needing people, is I've got me, I'm full of goodness. And this whole universe is just singing
Yeah.
all the time. And that is I think that's what everyone's seeking. That could be
Yeah.
a major reason why people end up so sick is we are already so low, and feel so lonely. But I feel so filled. And it back to that, like electricity, and anyone watching like Carillion photography, you can literally with Carillion photography take a photo of the electromagnetic frequency and vibration of this food, and then you see people who have eaten this food and they have a higher vibration of this energy or electromagnetic field. It's
Mhm.
literally a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see those comments?
Oh no, I can't see. Well, hold on.
I'll put
Yes,
them up on.
hello. I do.
There. Oh, good, you can. If there lots come through, I'll put them up on the screen. So yeah, it's like that. It's you try and explain how you don't feel alone and there's electricity and all these things are not tangible. So then you try and shift it across to something which is tangible, talking about the Carillion photography. But there's no better way than to feel it. And what are some of the foods that you notice, especially like I like to meet people where they're at, like when you first started, what were some foods that you started to incorporate? Because I mean, it doesn't have to be like, you now you can probably just do bananas and fruit and then like a light salad. But at the start, what
Yeah.
were some of the things you started incorporating and you started to feel this consciousness shift?
Well, I just honestly stopped kind of having very dry, like low energy foods. And in the morning, especially, I started to have a lot of melons, a lot of water rich fruits, like citrus fruits. And I started incorporating a lot of fresh herbs too. And yeah, I mean, just like homegrown stuff too, like local food. And I think like the more that you feel connected to your food, the better, right? Even if you grow it yourself. But I guess for me personally, like when I started fruit based and eating a lot of fresh raw foods, I mean, a lot of like dates, a lot of berries, high antioxidant foods, high water foods, high in vitamin C, a lot of fiber, right? Because when you have good digestion, everything else is good, it seems.
True.
So I ate a lot of oranges, citrus fruits. Like I said, I love orange juice, and yeah, a lot of high water, high fiber greens and veggies, and just like I do a lot of fruit, a lot of peaches, cherries, just super colorful, okay? Like, the more color, the better. Like,
Yeah,
the
I agree.
the phytonutrients in foods are very, like, new in nutritional science, so I really feel so strongly about that. Like, a lot of a lot of dark leafy greens, a lot of berries, a lot of just really vibrant beta carotene filled foods as well, carrots and stuff. Um, but I would have a smoothie every single morning and for like months on end, and I was just feeling good. Not only like did I lose weight, like excess weight that I really didn't need, but I had better digestion, just like more energy and just feeling really passionate and inspired and just ever so connected to my body and just feeling more connected to God, honestly, and just feeling in alignment with my pure design.
It's like a win-win-win. That's why I think when you're raw, you can't figure out why people don't. When you first go raw and you feel so incredible, all your problems have gone, you're literally getting better day by day, and you can't figure out why other people don't want to do it because there's no negatives. Like when you speak about it, you're just like, not only do you feel good, you're getting all these nutrients. Also, the sun activates more nutrients and vitamins, and also helps hormone regulation more so when you're hydrated, and a lot of the nutrients that which are in fruits. And you can feel it, like you change, you physically change more than getting rid of any ailments.
Yeah.
You really really change, so you can't like work out why other people can't see that. But as you said before, you said it's our job to be like the detox fruit. So we move around the community and
Yes.
rub people the wrong way,
Oh
and
my
we
gosh, like
start their detox.
think that we are the personification of fruit. This
I
is what I
love
say a lot of times because fruits, okay, they're like the cleansing agent, and not just fruit, but like plant foods, very hydrating plant foods. Like we are exposing what's already there in a lot of people's lives. Like when we come out and say, like, this is amazing, this is awesome. Like I've literally never felt energy like this before. And a lot of people combat these things. It's a very combative mindset sometimes that people have against being raw vegan, high raw vegan, and I think it is because like we are shining so vibrant, some people are just blinded, and
true.
we want to be that light that shines on what they need to work on and what maybe they had no idea that even existed. Like when I first went basically fruit based, I was kind of basically raw vegan at the time, eating a lot of like greens and stuff at night and like just really experimenting. I felt so, I mean, I still do, but at the time, I have never felt energy like this before. Like,
Yeah.
I relied on coffee, I relied on stimulants, I relied on this and that. And I was always taking ibuprofen for period cramps and all this stuff. And like, I don't have to do that anymore because my food and, my mindset is a pain reliever and just my lifestyle is supporting, like you said, like I feel very supported, not only with my lifestyle, but with, the community online and just like my connection with consciousness and God and everything. So it's just so much energy that I honestly can't even express. And I'm sure you feel the same way. It's just,
Yeah.
you just feel so energized, like not just physically, just I can talk about it all day.
Yeah. And no matter what you do, you're present all of a sudden. Everything before, you've got like a monkey mind. So you may be somewhere, but you're constantly thinking like it things like, I don't want to do this. I'm exhausted. When can I have a coffee? Oh my God, at least I get to have alcohol after this. Or it's always like you're not and then all of a sudden you're switched on and you're present and you love everything you're doing. Like you're so happy to just walk outside and you're like, it's like la la la. Like it's just like
Yeah.
you're happy all the time. And like some people might be listening going, I didn't feel that with raw. I think you've got to meet your, this is what I say, is own where you're at. Like wherever you're at, don't push yourself. Just like acknowledge that what you're doing is good. So just say you've cut out all processed foods. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like don't keep pushing, because that's what we're getting away from. We're finding like love. It's like I'm loving, you're like, I love the smoothies. I love the salad. I'm now loving life. You have to find your love rhythm.
Mhm.
And that is definitely, I didn't just wake up raw, and it made people, I think that I just started eating raw food and cured myself. But there was like, I tried the paleo, then I was vegan, and it was through the cooked vegan where I was just too sick to cook and
Mhm.
discovered it raw. But that in itself is a journey. But you, even when I went raw, I remember some nights just like couldn't sleep and I need an avocado or something. Now I don't do that anymore, but I recognize that, or I have like a handful of cashews or nut butter. You've got to own that that's just where you're at.
Mhm.
I'm amazing. Look what I eat each day. I get outdoors, I get moving, I get good food, I
Mhm.
enjoy shopping, I get sunlight. And I happen to just be like binging on an avocado to get through like right now, which is like, it could be so much worse. Like I was coming from like, smoking and medications and drinking, like it's an avocado,
Yeah.
I will manage. And
Well,
just
avocado.
owning and like just own wherever that situation you're at, because we're trying to get in that, like the whole reason somebody feels good is self-love. Like
Oh,
it's
for
it,
sure,
it's
100%.
love. Like I just couldn't believe, I remember sitting in the sun eating a salad, and I'd been down the water, and I'd been raw like 2 months, and all of a sudden I realized, I said, I love you, sky, and I love the sun. And then I was like, oh my God, not only have I said I love you more times in the past 3 weeks than I have in my entire life, but I feel like good, present, and there's no negative talk. Like
Mhm.
it just stopped. Like I was so used to, look at that, judging people, judging myself, making bad choices, being bad choices, as if that's the norm. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? Like that's like an incredible feeling. And you,
Yeah.
only you will know what that feels like. Like only you, and we want that for you. That's why we walk around and be little fruits.
I know, and, like, I think a lot of it too, like, you said it, basically, you hit the nail on the head, like, the self-love and just loving yourself and being grateful really changed the way that I felt, and I've seen my reality now is sometimes, like, I would wake up and there was nothing to be grateful for, like, always complaining, always feeling so negative and down, and when I and like you said, it was a journey to go high carb, lots of fruit for me, lots of raw foods. Like I used to just be like, a regular vegan. Like I would eat a lot of processed kind of foods and a lot of cooked foods and like not so good stuff, even if it was vegan. And then I went on like a low carb kind of thing, and I just felt so like I didn't feel so good at that time. So
Yeah.
that's when I started eating a lot of fruit, a lot of all that, and I just felt like energy like I've never felt before, and like I'm like so grateful to have gone through what I have gone through to get to where I am now and always learning, right? And we got to be like loving to ourselves even if we have down days. Like I don't feel down as though like, oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sad. More so like I can recognize my emotions and still be grateful for experiencing them. Like I'm
Yeah.
happy to experience stress because it helps me grow, right? Like,
Yes.
it's just bringing the awareness, and I feel so self-aware too, and I think, like, a lot of people are just kind of going day to day, like, in, like, airplane mode a lot of the times, and you don't take just, like, a second to, "Oh, like, how do you feel?" Like, what Mary Bell said after, "Oh, how do you feel, like, after you eat your food?" Like, it's not about just doing that, it's, like, so much more than that, so, there's just too
Yeah.
much.
So on that, like, how do you feel after you eat food? That was huge for me. And that saying, feeling good and realizing there was no negative self-talk, is I realized when I was picking out the food in the fruit shop, I felt good. When I was preparing it, I felt good. Whereas a lot of the times I always was like, got to get this, got to rush home, they got to do this, but then I get to watch TV or something like that.
Mm.
And then afterwards, I felt good. And it's such a big indicator of who you are. If you can progressively keep doing things that make you feel good, life will just feel good all the time.
Mhm.
As soon as something doesn't feel good, you will know that the only problem is you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Right now, or whether that's just not for you. But also this comment here, I binged on dates and almond butter last night. My perspective on that is, years ago, it was alcohol, cigarettes, I was on a whole lot of medications.
Yeah.
I would eat like chocolate bars to like almost stay conscious because I had massive blood sugar issues and I'd crash out. And I always think just own where you're at, is because if we keep going, I'm bad for doing things, I feel like we just attract or decide to do more of that.
Yeah.
Whereas we want to get that consciousness going, hey, come on, like as I said, like it was an avocados for me or nut butter for me. And it's like, Sky, this is amazing. Like this is all nutrients. Like you're eating all nutrients.
I know. Yeah, I mean, you can't feel bad about eating dates and almond butter in the first place because they're always so good for you. But I guess like when we think about food as kind of an emotional like thing to have, sometimes we can connect even if the food's not bad for you, like avocados or dates, we just like connected to that feeling of, oh, I did this and now I feel bad about myself. When we should just be more loving towards ourselves, more forgiving towards ourselves. And then that's how we grow. And then maybe we won't do it. But even if we did, we can acknowledge that and accept it because it helps us become a better
Yes.
version of ourselves.
Yes. Now I've spoken in with Kiko about this. I've spoken before. Is when I broke my toe, I went back to coffee for about a week, and I recognized I'm not somebody who goes, "Oh my God, my addictions, I'm so bad." Why did you do that, Sky? You've never had cravings before. Now, I used to run every morning. Now, I was on um, back in my parents' house when this happened because my bathroom was being done, same as when I was sick for 30 years. I was on opioids for my toe because I broken my toe. They gave me some medication to help with that for a couple of days. And all of a sudden, I not only want coffee, I had coffee because every morning I get up and run and do Pilates, and you're giving me like adrenaline and breath of fresh air and heartbeat. And I'm like, that made me feel terrible. I almost called an ambulance because I ended up in so much pain after a few days on it. It was like, for me, it's no go. And I had to learn that lesson, and I learned it a lot stronger. I'm not a 37-kilogram sick woman anymore. I'm much stronger.
Yeah.
But it made me think about what my body wants. It also made me think about how I was, I think, running away from a lot of my problems and using running. So instead of sitting with them and being okay with them, I was trying to run every single day when I probably can give my body some rest and not be so reliant on it. So I don't see I was addicted to running. I just see them as life lessons.
Yeah.
And I think that can be part of that self-love, right?
Oh, for sure. And on the note of like coffee or feeling like you need a hit of adrenaline or something like that, like I can't do coffee either. It makes me extremely jittery and anxious and all these things. So I really stay away from stimulants in general because I feel like it makes me feel like rushed. It makes me feel anxious and stressed. So like I try to avoid that as much as I can. So there is this comment
Yeah, I was
by
going to bring this up. I was waiting for you to speak. Is this one?
okay. Yeah. So what do you recommend eating on days where you have a lot of stress? When I have anxiety, I feel like I need something heavy to eat, which I can kind of agree with that. But in the same way, I can kind of disagree because sometimes in the past when I was feeling very stressed and anxious and depressed all the time, I actually ate less because I just felt like I didn't have as much of an appetite. So when I feel anxiety, I guess nowadays it's kind of more rare for me that I do because I really kind of try to acknowledge like where it comes from before like I try to, change what I'm eating. But I guess like I said before, like I stay away from like stimulants. I stay away from a lot of like high like caffeine things and stuff. But I eat a lot of like watery, rich fruits, to be honest, like something that's really gonna hydrate me and like fuel me and like fill me up, but like
Sure.
not go crazy.
So
What do you
can
think?
I was going to say, so when these days happen to me, I like to do my self-care rituals because, yes, some people, even myself, back to like cigarette, wine. No, that doesn't come to me. What comes to me on days like this, because first of all, say if I feel like I've done something wrong to my body, I can tend to get into bad eating habits by going, I now need to juice. I now need to eat just grapes. I now need to. And so what I do is self-care. So I'll have a nice shower. I'll put something really comfy on. I might have already gone for a walk. I'll make sure I get some fresh air. And then I'll usually make myself like something, I guess you'd call it a comfort raw meal, but something I really love that's raw to make myself feel good. As I said, this is what I do because I found I did go through a stage where I'm like, I've done something wrong. I now need to juice that out, or
Right, yeah. I feel
that
that.
for me. But you're doing the same thing, but what works for you? Like I think it's what works. The healthiest, like loving way to nurture yourself as you go through. Because for you, it's like you love the juicy fruits. And for me, I found it's a bit more of the like the shower, the wind yourself down, and then do like your favorite raw meal, which when I say that, it could be like a zoodly pad thai dish. Usually I'm more like when I crave something, it's savory.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. And I mean, honestly, I didn't even think about all the self-care aspects, which I do a lot of when I feel stressed out. I do like a lot of kind of like breath work, a lot of just trying to live in the moment and understand why I'm stressed, try to journal. I do a lot of journaling and stuff too. But yeah, there's another comment here, she
Yeah, I'll
noticed
bring it
that
up.
more calm and happy now than we reading processed, and I think that's great, and like some people can eat like more processed foods and like feel fine, but personally I feel like the closer you get to whole plant foods, the better, because it's like simple. Like your body doesn't have to like worry about breaking all these things down, sending all these things here and doing all this. It's like you have more energy and more like healing energy to go to what really matters, like feeling calm, feeling energized. She says like you're describing a mindset shift is very accurate, and I think that's amazing because it can really happen, like you said, Sky, like really fast. Like you can feel like really good afterwards, and you kind of get a feeling of like a high, not like
Yeah.
sweating, but you feel like, wow, I really feel so aligned, and like I can't believe that I haven't found this sooner, to be honest. And
Yep.
I just feel like, oh, like, wow, I wish that my loved ones could experience this feeling too, because they're describing to me like, I feel like this way, I feel that way. And I'm like, have you tried this? Have you tried this?
Yep.
Sprinkling it into conversation, I think is very powerful rather than being so pushy and stuff. Like, I try to, like you said, just represent and resemble love. And this loving, radiant lifestyle is like the best that you can do is just show up for yourself and
Yep.
inspire others to show up too, honestly.
Everything you just said is exactly what happens, I think, for most people. And that was exactly what happened for me, especially like you feel so good, you're blown away that you did not know this before. You're kind of like almost like not angry, but just trying to figure out how you didn't know. And
Mhm.
then you want all your loved ones to feel this good, but you'll learn very quickly because it's like a process. You're really kind of almost accepting that you can feel good. And so we come from a place where a lot of how we feel good is to try and make everyone around us feel good. So we're like, can you see I feel amazing, I'm up, I'm well? But you'll learn very quickly you have to be the light. You can't be the like you can't make talk someone into something. Humans need to discover, they've got their own journey. Is you just look after, the more you look after yourself and the better you look and feel, it impacts on people. People are like, why does she look different? Why is she
Yeah.
always happy?
They're
Why is she
gonna
not
start
doing this?
wondering.
They do. And that's what you have to believe in, but everyone will go through it. You want to change everyone. You want dogs, cats, birds, everyone should be eating raw foods. Like you literally just be like, everyone.
Yeah.
So that's like a real normal thing. But also with the whole foods is I kind of look at what I eat as a representation of who I am and my life. So if you eat whole foods, it's like I want to be whole.
Yeah.
Like I'm very like when I eat bits that are like even like dehydrated food, which I don't mind as a treat, but if I even when I'm fine a couple of times, but then I start to feel fractured. I need the more, and look, I'm going to say I don't have my own garden, but any time I have eaten something a whole meal fresh from a garden, I'm not here. I'm literally floating around in some other realm. Like it's it's
Mhm.
it's that's a whole different game, which I'm hoping to level up to. I think I've lost my train of thought here. I've gone off and
I
I'm
know.
like, that's
I
the ultimate.
strawberry picking this past weekend. Literally 10 minutes away from my house, we have this big orchard of like strawberries, peaches, cherries, blackberries. It's just like I'm so grateful to live where I live for one, but two, I was picking the strawberries off the plants, and we had like 20
That
pounds of strawberries, maybe not 10 pounds, but they are so good. And I was eating one, and they all taste different, like they all taste amazing. But I'm kind of losing my train of thought too. But either way, it's just,
we've gone off into the world of like, but if you were eating, if you take your shoes off, walk into a garden and eat, you're picking it so it's straight from the sun to you. It's not even that the farmers market have only just put it in a truck and delivered it. They've still washed it. Multiple people have handled it. And you really don't realize the energetic effects until you just eat the food. Even I used to do disability work, and some of the clients had fresh food in their gardens, like even like beans, and you just eat the bean. It's not even fruit. And I'm like, whoo, I'm like, it's a completely different experience.
no, I know. I feel the same way about like just tomatoes, just anything that
Um,
I'm picking from the garden, and it's just straight off the plant. It's just really where the source is, right? That's exactly where it is. And there's nothing between. There's a lot of filtration when it comes to foods nowadays. You don't know exactly where it went to, like who touched it, like what energy had, there's just a lot of filtering. But when you are there eating it from the plant, there's that immediate connection to nature. There's that immediate connection to where it came from, the sun, the soil, water. You just feel more like whole, like you said, more connected. There's some comments here. Do you want to?
yeah, I thought I'd just dive into this. First off, I want to bring up the protein one. There's one under then someone's also saying we need to stop demonizing processed foods like sugar. So where I want to sit here is predominantly raw foods are amazing, right? They're the best. They're the best package to give you nutrients. Do I wish they had every single thing I need in them? Yes, because they're most digestible, hydrating, they're in balance. Does that mean they have everything that each individual needing different needs has? No.
Mhm.
Some people want to increase the amount of sugar and they add sweeteners, as in sugar, coconut sugar, dates, maple syrup to their recipes because they need that. And it's about getting in tune with your body. These people are still, and to stay healthy, predominantly eating whole foods. And with this, can you talk about excess protein, which is very prominent in America, can make you gain belly fat? So you definitely, I'm going to just speak on what I've learned. Now, I am 44. I had a hysterectomy at 30. I am going through a stage now where it's not even that much protein. I think I get like 40 grams of protein a day, but I did go through a stage where I neglected this. But that's where I'm at. I had to recorrect my course. Is I wasn't having enough greens. I was doing too much just fruits. So I have had to correct that just by having some more seeds right now and some more greens are helping me. But this is just to basically what I wanted to say is some people are going to need some more sugar. Some people are going to need some more amino acids. Some people are going to need a little higher fat days, a little lower fat days. Is what we're saying here is predominantly you're going to feel your best. Consciousness, healing when you eat the fruits. But does that mean the fruit has everything because of the state and the consciousness of the planet is quite vibrationally low and we're trying to get up here
Yeah.
is no. So what are your thoughts on the like adding
Um,
things?
well, when it comes to processed foods like sugar, I mean, I don't demonize anything personally. If this is what you want to have, that's what you want to have. I personally normally gravitate towards all whole foods, like,
Yeah.
but I don't demonize sugar, for example. Like, I will add in cane sugar to stuff. Like, this is just I love a lot of glucose, a lot of energy, right? And I eat a lot of whole plant foods in general, a lot of low fat foods. So my body is going to be better at utilizing the processed sugar. Well, in turn, a lot of people that are eating a high fat diet are not going to be able to utilize that extra processed sugar, for example. So I don't demonize anything like that. I think when you focus on mostly whole plant foods, low fat whole plant foods, you're going to feel great and you're going to feel good. And like, yeah, there are some days where I feel like I need to have a little more fat in my life, a little more protein in my life, but I don't like necessarily think about macronutrients all that much. I just think about the holistic point of view. And a lot
Yes.
of whole plant foods are just naturally going to be low in fat, unless it's like nut seeds and coconut stuff like that.
Yeah.
So either way, I don't demonize anything. if it works for you, it works for you. But I guess when it comes to the excess amount of protein, which is very prominent in America, and not just America, it can be Australia, basically first world westernized countries. It just makes your body work harder because, glucose is our number one fuel source,
Mhm.
carbohydrates. Number two is fat, fatty acids, or yeah, lipids and stuff. So, like protein, some people, yeah, can have a little more of that, but it's not even just like protein in general, it's the animal-based protein that helps people gain fat because it stores in their intestines. So that's a super loaded question, and I feel like we could do a whole podcast about that.
We
But
probably could. It's
I don't
because
think.
it's even the fact that the people who are protein pushing, or the societies or the culture they've come from, are people who are usually already overweight, oversugared, overoiled, oversalted. And then what's going to solve their problems is a high protein diet. So you've got this person who's eating this very clogged up diet, and you're trying to solve their problem, by which there might be some rate of success, but then it's marketed, it's packaged, it's sold. So I think what you're saying is so important about, when, if you're getting in people's comments and or constantly thinking I can't have that, or why is that person doing that, is you need to find a place of love
Mm,
for you. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. If you watch somebody, what they're doing, it's get inspiration. Oh, look at that. That feels like something I want to try. Or that's not for me. Happy it works for them. It's a better mindset if you come at your food, even raw foods, with like, gotta do this again. Don't want to do this. You'll destroy yourself and your life. You're not at the right place to obviously do what you're doing.
right.
I think that's a concept to think about too.
Oh, yeah, like, you don't want anything to feel like an obligation because then you're not gonna wanna do it, and you're not gonna put loving energy towards that, right?
Yeah.
It's just there's just a lot, and
Very.
there's another comment, "Sugar makes me feel
What
really
you mean?
sick, sugar." Fruit sugar does not, and it's because it's more of a slow absorption of sugar,
Makes you
and
feel
it's
sick.
has the fiber in it, and I think that's awesome, that fruit sugar doesn't make you sick because that's what we're designed to eat, a lot of whole plant foods, a lot of
Yeah.
fruit, a lot of just whole plant foods in general, and you don't have to eat sugar, right? Like, you can go your whole entire life without eating sugar because whole plant foods like fruits have all the glucose that you really need. And, meat makes me feel sick. And, that's valid. And it can make a lot of people feel very sick because it's just not the best food for a human being to consume. So I think
Mm.
the more raw plant foods, the better you're going to feel. Not just sick feeling, just you're going to feel more loving towards yourself. Eating foods that love you back and having that in the back of your mind, thinking that something's gonna make you sick can actually be like a placebo effect, right? Like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna eat this and I'm gonna feel really bad afterwards." Like, when you're already putting that image in your brain, it's probably gonna make you feel sick, right?
Yeah, and aren't we animals? So animals, all the other animals, billions of animals, trillions of animals in the world, are not going to a nutritionist or a podcast, or a book when they decide to eat a piece
Mhm,
of fruit or a piece of protein. They literally eat it and they're like, I don't want it. And a huge part of what I do is all about feedback. How do I feel?
mhm,
Because I realized I stayed sick because I kept reading or over educating, and I was so head heavy, but
yeah,
I had no awareness of how things actually made me feel. And as I wound back with the paleo and the vegan, and then I went raw vegan, is I could feel how the food made me feel, which is what animals in the wild do, to the point where they may have a very low sodium diet, but their electrolytes go out, and you may find one licking salt off a wall. If you decide to have more salt one night, or more amino acids, or more sugar, is it should be because you are very consciously aware that you need it, and you don't need to go to a book. Or and how you get there, I believe, is that love aspect, is how did this whole meal make me feel? All the cilantro didn't make me feel good, stay away from a few days. You may find you eventually go back.
right.
So
I think it's, like, a lot of intuition and intention for the food you're consuming too. It's not just food, right? And nutrition is a lot more than just what you eat. It's about how you see the food, how you feel, like how you talk about it too. It's just, and who you're eating with. There's just so much to
Yeah,
it.
all of
And
it.
what you need, you're the only person that is going to know that. Like, there is so much information out there. We get decision fatigue. We make thousands of decisions a day. We just need to have, I don't know, something to go to that we know makes us feel good, that we just know in our heart makes us feel good. And I feel like the simplest thing to do to bring yourself self-love is to eat foods that you know makes you feel good. And then a lot of that will just team into all other aspects of your life. Wow, there's a
That's
lot
right.
coming.
Yeah. So it'll love you. It'll love you back. Food will love you back. I'll put this one up. Do either of you ladies eat raw chocolate or raw desserts? So with me and dessert, so for the first few years, I didn't touch any of that sort of stuff. I have only had, like, when you say raw desserts, I'm thinking that you're talking from like a cake shop at this stage, or like a health food shop, and it's like made of maple syrup, coconut oil, vanilla essence. There's like maybe one nut in it. It's not.
Mhm.
I have only ever had that at a restaurant once, and I don't think a lot of those ingredients were in it. I make my own with foods that make me feel good. I share a lot of those recipes. I do interchange between using cacao and carob. So I do find cacao stimulating. So I may give it a rest, and then I'll use carob. I never say never. I never want to restrict myself with any raw foods.
Mhm.
So that's me with chocolates and raw desserts. So what about you?
Kind of the same way. I normally just don't eat chocolate because I've never been a fan of the taste or feeling ever since I was a child. So I kind of just, I don't really think about it, to be honest. But I mean, if occasionally I feel like I want that, or like I see something that has it in it, like, I'm not going to restrict myself. Like, I never
Yeah.
restrict. It's about being more selective and knowing that's what you want. If that's what you want, that's what you want. And I'm not going to go eat a deep fried donut, but
Yep.
it's about just knowing kind of what you want and what makes you feel good. So personally, I do the same thing. I really just make my own food. I don't really have a lot of raw vegan restaurants or stuff around me. And even if I did, I don't know 100% like what's in it. So I would rather kind of make my own. And I just like the process too of kind of experimenting and making stuff
Right.
that I know that I'm probably gonna like, and my family's gonna like, and I feel proud that I kind of made something in like an essence of what I had as a child. For example, like a Girl Scout cookie, I made a version of that and it was good, right? Will I have it all the time? No, maybe once or twice a year around Christmas or something. But I have a lot of like ice cream, like nice cream. I make a lot of that and smoothie bowls and stuff, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that I do a lot of desserts in the sense of it being dessert, but sometimes I eat dessert for breakfast. So,
There is something magical about creating a favorite recipe raw. Like, I don't have it every night. I like my regular salads or fruit. But when I do, reliving that memory, but not feeling bad afterwards is like chef's kiss. Like, when it was the raw vegan bundle and I had a piece of pizza, and my body's reaction was to immediately, I don't have pizza a lot, rest because you're going to be tired. And I'm like, I don't feel tired. Like, I forget sometimes
yeah.
because, I don't have gourmet all that often, but it just obviously triggered something and I was expecting to be sluggish and tired, but no, you get to relive the fun of pizza. But like you is, people don't eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have pizza. I don't know how often people have pizza. I guess everyone's different, but this could vary. But I'm someone who probably had pizza, oh, I don't know, a handful of times a year. So I would do that being a raw vegan. Nothing changes.
Literally, same
You
here.
just,
I'm not a
yeah,
big pizza fan, like, in general, like, I kinda never really had that either way. Like, if I were to have anything, like, gourmet, I like a good, like, taco or I wouldn't say that's gourmet, but, I don't make a lot of tacos because it's just kind of like, I am a simple eater, I do a lot of
yeah,
simple things, and I just that's kinda how I feel good and what I know that I like, right? I kinda just do what I like, and maybe some people don't want to eat as simple as I do, right? And that's okay. And I get moments when I go and get fancy stuff, but like you said in the beginning, like we got to just love ourselves and just have the expectation of feeling good after. Because sometimes, like you just said, oh, I ate pizza and I was expecting not to feel so good. But a lot of people have that expectation constantly, and that's why they're
Yes.
constantly not feeling good.
Yes, and that's like the biggest change when I went raw. I was like blown away that you actually feel good all the time. And then even when I would go out for lunch with people or dinner, and I'd have my salad and my juice, and then we walk out of the restaurant. Oh, my pants don't fit. I'm because they have drink and they have 3 or 4 courses and breads, and I'm gonna go home, have an afternoon nap. I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go in the ocean for a swim, and you don't realize what you can get out of life when you have these foods, and that's the gift. Is I now get the rest of the day when everyone's wiped their day out, and you go from wanting food for taste of wanting food for feels. And when you want food for feels, you will mostly eat what makes you feel good.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I have that, like, when I go out with my friends or, like, my family, I eat pretty well, and, like, sometimes I go to the restaurant and I get a salad or something, and I bring my own salad dressing most of the time, and I just feel so good afterwards, and like you said, "Oh, like, I need to unbutton my pants, and, like, I feel this way," and like you said about alcohol, like, I stopped drinking all that, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I need that. I feel so good. Like
That's
I can
right.
go out with people that are doing that, right? And like I can still have a good time. I have my pineapple juice, and that's fine. And it's about like enjoying the moment rather than like enjoying all these like not so optimal food options.
That's right. It's all about feeling good, self-love, and yeah. So I was going to start winding this up. I
Okay.
have loved so
Yeah.
much talking to you. And if you guys want us to talk on any other topics, like, I mean, there's already a million in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can come up with another one.
Oh,
Um, we will do it because this has been amazing.
yeah, thank you guys for all the comments. It's kind of interesting to see like what other people think and like what other people want to hear about. Like I love kind of experimenting with different topics and stuff. Like you and I like we can talk forever all the time, but
Yes.
I feel like it's just really it's encouraging, right? To see other people on here to connect with you guys and it's just it reassures us that we are just representatives of this beautiful lifestyle and making a difference in even like if we're making a difference to 200,000 or just two people, right? It doesn't matter because we are being our true selves.
That's definitely what it's about, and we are definitely doing this again. You can message us if you have any ideas for topics, but as I said, is there were so many topics that came up there. I
Yeah.
actually just have a call after this, otherwise I would have kept talking. I didn't book out enough time,
Yeah.
otherwise I would have just kept talking because there's so much you can share.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It was amazing, and Miranda, amazing, and we'll see you all soon.
Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.